What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, alright, we're coming back to Kensington. Yes, indeed, Kensington Fans FEELIN YOU. Come on now. Here we go. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all of the clicks and the likes and the bibbidi bop, do me a favor, before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all of those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Dasi Podidai, and Dasi Podidai wanted to see me react to this song by Kensington called Saint Helena. Now, have I heard the song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a second, yeah, I've heard this song before, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This was posted by Kensington, surprise, surprise, and the video has 61,000 views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Kensington, St. Helena, live at Johan Cruyff Arena, Amsterdam, 1080p. Cool. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Jongens, ze zeggen wel eens dat rock dood is. Maar we staan hier toch in 2018 met 50.000 man. Dit is de grootste rockavond in Nederland ooit. Fucking yes! Ja dan! Woe! En dat komt allemaal door jullie, jongens. Dit komt allemaal door jullie. Dank je wel dat jullie zijn gekomen vanavond. Dit betekent zo ongelooflijk veel voor ons. Ik hoop dat jullie een mooie avond hebben gehad vanavond, jongens.
And for all the international people also coming to the show, thank you so fucking much from the bottom of our heart. We love you. Poland, Romania, France, you know you are the greatest. So thank you so much as well. En we hebben er nog eentje voor jullie. En daarna... Nee, we gaan gewoon deze arena nu afbreken. We gaan nu gaan deze arena... Dit is het laatste concert ooit in de arena. Dank jullie wel.
Ik wil nog even het moment nemen om de hele crew te bedanken. Iedereen die dit helemaal heeft opgebouwd voor...
Geef het op voor de Kensington crew!
Yes!
Zonder jullie zijn wij niks, zonder hun zijn wij niks. We doen dit allemaal samen. Dank jullie wel. Dit is ons laatste nummer vanavond. We love you. Dit is Saint Helena.
Thank you so much for acknowledging and thanking the crew. I cannot tell you how many bands... I'm sure they do it in private, but you'd be amazed how many bands during the course of a show won't thank the crew. And I'm sorry. I think that's criminal. I mean, the crew is responsible for putting this show together. I mean, yes, the band is important. Absolutely. The band are the one playing the songs. They're the one performing the music. They're the one putting on the show. Absolutely. But without that crew, there is no show. Unless the band wants to set up everything themselves, and I don't think with a stage that size, with all the lights and all the sound and everything else, all the cables you got to run, all the tape you got to put down, I don't think any band would really on a show this size. I don't think any band really wants to do that. So, thank you very much for acknowledging the crew. I know I appreciate that. Let's keep going here.
Zonder jullie zijn wij niks, zonder hun zijn wij niks. We doen dit allemaal samen. Dank jullie wel. Dit is ons laatste nummer vanavond. We love you. Dit is Sint Helena. And when the heat is gone and the fire is out and the breeze of cold is surrounding all, where the fools at heart fall in truth apart, stay in lies together. And when the greed is grown and we're finding out who to lay it on, where to fight it out, how our days were strong when we spoke as a one, now we mime together.
Interesting chordal progression. Really interesting chordal progression. The root to the flat 2 to the natural 2 to the flat 2 to the root. That's interesting. You don't hear that happen too often. You don't hear too many bands take that route. It's interesting. It sounds good. They're making it sound good. I think that has to do with the phrasing, giving it more than just, one measure. It's not. It's working really well, actually. It's giving it kind of a, I don't want to say a Phrygian feel. It's not really, because it's not really Phrygian, but it's giving it kind of a Phrygian feel. I'm digging it. I'm definitely digging it. And I'm loving the production. We saw all the confetti falling, so they obviously fired off confetti cannons earlier, probably the song before. From what I'm gathering, this is their last song of the set. Like this very well could be their encore. Like they already left and came back out and said, this is going to be our last song, and this is it. I'm getting that kind of a feel. And between the pyro, the lighting, the confetti still falling, it looks good. It's definitely leaving them with a statement, a definite exclamation point. So that's nice. Let's keep going here.
Flames will grow. Let us breathe the smoke.
are doing a 6-bar phrase. When the guitar solo kicked in, they switched from an 8-bar phrase to a 6-bar phrase. So they do the E for 2 measures, the F for 2 measures, the F sharp for 1 measure, and then the F for 1 measure, and then rather than do 2 measures of E to end it and make it a 8-measure phrase, they go immediately back to the beginning of the phrase on the E to make it a 6-measure phrase. That's interesting. I'm not questioning it. I'm not saying that's a bad call at all. I mean, I kind of dig it, but I'm really curious, and I would love to talk to these guys and ask them what led to that decision. You know, what were you guys thinking when you did that? Because I dig it. It's making it stand apart. And maybe that's the whole reason they did it, was they wanted the solo section to stand apart from the rest of the song. It's very possible. Or maybe they just wanted to switch things up without going too out there. I mean, it's not a bad way to do it either. I would love to pick their brain and ask them, what was the driving force behind that decision? You know, what made you come to that decision? I'm not questioning it. I'm not arguing it. I'm just saying, why did you decide to go that route? Because I think it's cool. Let's keep going here. For a bit, okay. We having a problem with the flames in the center? Or is that cryo? It might be cryo. I can't tell. I'm a little concerned because the flames are coming up here on the sides, but here in the middle you see jets of something. Now that might be cryo. It's possible. Or they may be having some malfunctions with their sparkers, and that might be pure propane going up. Oh boy. That can lead to problems, but I don't know. I'm not sure what it's not. I think it's propane. I don't think it's cryo. It's too thin. It's too thin. It's dispersing way too quickly to be cryo. I don't think it's CO2. I'm not sure what it is. But I think it's propane. We might have a problem. Might want to let that air clear a little bit before you start to spark it up again, else we could have a huge flash. Anyway, it's just a little concerning. Let's keep going here. don't do that. Taking the bow to the crowd, acknowledging the crowd. Good. Yeah. Everything I look for in a live show. Every single thing, every single check mark was checked off. Yep. We'll talk about that more in the review, I promise. I'm like 99% sure everything was checked off. I think. Yeah, no, I'm 99% sure. We'll make sure. We'll go over everything in the review. Let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Kensington with Saint Helena. This was a request from Dasi Podadai. Okay, I thought about this. I was really kind of torn on this between two scores. But I have a score here. I feel good about the score. I've kind of played out the scenario in my head as far as what I'm gonna say, and it all adds up. Okay, it all does. So let's get to that score, and then we'll go from there. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that a 7.0. Yeah, 7.0. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, first things first, a 7.0. What does that mean? Well, a 7.0 would translate to a really good skill rating, so I think overall this was a really good performance. It would also translate to 4 out of 5 stars and a B letter grade. Yeah, not a D, not a C, a B letter grade. So there you go. 7.0, really good skill rating, 4 to 5 stars, and a B letter grade. Now, how did I come up with that score? So glad you asked. Okay. Looking at the song on its own, just the song, okay? I think the song was okay, if I'm being honest with you. There's really nothing that complex about the song. I'm not going to sit here and say there was anything all that mind-blowing or impressive about the song. We're literally talking about 90% of the song was based around 3 chords, okay? E, F sharp, and F. Okay, so mostly E, F sharp. Okay, E, F, F sharp, F, E. That was pretty much the chordal progression. Now, granted, that the timing changed a little bit. During most of the verses, we had 2 measures of E, to 2 measures of F, to a measure of F sharp, to a measure of F, to 2 measures of E, to bring it out to an 8 measure phrase. Okay, now, during the guitar solo, we switched from an 8 measure phrase to a 6 measure phrase. And all we had to do was get rid of the last 2 measures, okay? Because the last 2 measures and the first 2 measures were the exact same. So you had 2 measures of E, 2 measures of F, and a measure of F sharp and a measure of F. and then we're right back to the beginning again. That's a 6-measure phrase. Keeping the same chordal progression, just cutting off the last 2 measures, which were the exact same as the first 2 measures. I've seen other bands do that before. It's not common practice. That's not something you would typically see bands do, but I've seen other bands do it, and it's not like it's the first time I've ever heard that before. It's interesting. It definitely breaks away from the norm, and it did change things up a little bit for the song itself, okay? But the actual chords that were utilized, not that impressive, not that mind-blowing. Root, flat 2, 2, flat 2, root. That was the one point where we went up to the A and then to the D. And then from the D, we went to the F to the E, back down to the A again. That was nice. That was a nice little switch up. I'm going to be honest with you. I wish they had done that again, at least one more time. They did it once, and it was nice. I liked it. I liked that switch up. It kept things fresh for that one section before we went right back into the same chordal progression again. The song did get long. It did, okay? It did start to drone, okay? So overall, just the song on its own, I thought the song was okay. I would give just the song, only the songwriting, the arranging, I would give that about a 5.8, 5.9, a really high okay. So how in the world did we get from like a 5.8, 5.9, how did we get up to a 7.0? Well, I have said this time and time again on the channel. A live show can help your score or it can hurt your score. In this case, it helped. It helped a lot, over a full point increase because of their live show. And I'm going to be very clear on this. They would sharpen the saw constantly. And I'm going to talk what I mean by that in a little bit. Let's start off with the things I look for in a good live show. Did they do all 6? Let's find out. Stage presence, check. Yeah, they didn't look like a bunch of roadies standing around, wandering around the stage. No, they looked like rock stars. So, and they were acting like rock stars. So yeah, that's definitely checked. Stage energy, tons, constantly moving around, and not just one person. All three of the people up front were moving around constantly, switching places, going over to stage left, going over to stage right, coming down the catwalk, yeah, over to the platform. You know, the only person that wasn't moving around the stage was the drummer. He can't. He's a slave to his instrument. So, you know, but back there, he was really putting on a nice show, though. He was making his arm motions big, so everybody in the back could see him. So yeah, I will absolutely give that. Stage interaction, check. I saw several times where members of the band were interacting with each other on the stage. That looked really good. It shows the band is comfortable with each other. They like being around each other. They like working together. They're able to communicate with each other on stage and have fun with each other on stage. That's very important, at least in my opinion it is. So stage interaction, check. Crowd interaction, oh please, do we really have to ask that question? There was a ton of crowd interaction, tons of it. Constantly looking to the crowd, constantly pointing to the crowd. Before they even played the song, they were talking to the crowd and engaging with the crowd. There was that one section where everybody laid out and they were talking to the crowd, getting the crowd fired back up again for the big ending. I loved that. So yes, crowd interaction, check. Showmanship, please. Lots of showmanship. They were putting on a great visual show. I mean, yeah, well, we're going to talk about production in a little bit. Yeah, there was production, but more importantly, they themselves made the live show. They didn't need all that production, okay? All the pyro and stuff like that, they didn't need it. They could have put on a fine show without it. So yeah, showmanship, check there. Production, check, yes. Now production, I've always said, is kind of bonus points, unless you're a production-based band. These guys don't look like they're a production-based band. They were able to put on a fine live performance on their own. So they don't need production, but it was there, and it's absolutely bonus points. A lot of pyro. In just that one song, they put on more pyro than I mean, I hate to say it to Rammstein fans, but I think Rammstein just got handed their receipt in the pyro division for just one song. So sorry, sorry, Rammstein fans, but I think these guys might be surpassing Rammstein a little bit in the pyro division. So maybe Rammstein needs to step up their game a little bit. Just around a single song. They used a ton. Plus, there were all the confetti coming down. I was a little concerned getting towards the end of the song. The center jets. I don't think that was cryo. That looked what was coming out of the jets. It was dispersing way too fast to be cryo. I have a feeling that was propane, and the ignition switches weren't firing off anymore. They may have malfunctioned, or they might have overheated. So they may have just automatically shut off while the gas was still going up. Gotta be careful in situations like that. You set up enough gas quickly enough, and all of a sudden it decides to light. The next thing you know, you got a big flash. You're gonna have some singed eyebrows for sure if you're not careful. So that was a little concerning, but it was fun to see the pyro in use as much as it was. Plus the confetti coming down. I suspect this was the last song of the entire show. This was it. This was the show closer. All the ballast being taken afterwards, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit, and all the confetti raining down. It looks like what happened was they did their last song, went off stage, came back out 30 seconds later and said, okay, now we're really going to end the show, and this is what they did. The other thing that helped boost the score up, and I know this sounds stupid for a lot of people, but if you're in the industry and you're a performer, or if you're a stagehand, or if you're on the crew or whatever, I'm sorry, but I don't think the crew ever gets enough credit for what they do. You hear about these bands who show up and they play their show, but what a lot of people don't realize is either the day before or super early in the morning, like 6 a.m. call time, before the show, the crew is there putting together the stage, putting together the lights, putting together the sound, and then taping down everything. Gaffer's tape, crew member's best friend, sound checking, line checking, making sure everything's working. If something isn't working, we fix it. Or if we're not able to fix it, we run out to a instrumental store and we replace it. If we have to replace it. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that a lot of people do not understand, and that's all thanks to the crew, making sure everything works, every light is lit, every speaker is functional, making sure every guitar and every bass is in tune, drum heads are all adjusted exactly how the drummer likes it, making sure everything is safe backstage, making sure all the production, the pyro and the cryo and all the confetti cannons around the entire arena are all set up, loaded, functioning, and ready to go when they need to go. So I'm sorry, but I don't think crew members ever get enough credit. And whenever bands take a moment to thank and acknowledge the crew, I respect the hell out of that. The other thing I really respect is when the show is actually over and finished, the band comes together, acknowledges the audience, and shows their respect by taking that bow. I respect the hell out of that. I really do, because it shows that you're not just saying, hey, thanks a lot for coming, we'll all see you next time. No, they're actually taking the time to pay homage and pay respect and show humility and appreciation to the crowd. So I appreciate that as well. You take all of those things, and this is how we came from like a 5.8, 5.9 for the song, all the way up to a 7.0. I feel good about that score. I feel justified with that score, and that is exactly where we're going to stay. And no, you cannot change my mind. So let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, shall we? We got a 7.0, which is a really good scale rating, 4 to 5 stars, and a B letter grade. Take your pick. I don't care. Whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's gonna do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.